Also, them beating the Cheese Sticks last week, the Cheese Sticks trotted Frosty out there against them. Someone who probably hasn't opened the game in months.
Like the
Uh,
old title Frosty.
yes, old title Frosty lined up against Quan. Quan ended up getting like 260 or something.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see that in the game result. So I mean, but was the rest of the receiving core in there?
Yeah, they didn't have Pokey.
And very nearly Miski hitting Anki for opening touchdown. Had that connected, that was almost certainly a touchdown. But Miski just barely overthrowing Anki. But I think
Yeah.
Sabardo is definitely a receiver who has been somewhat on a downward trend. He's played at a higher level than what we've been seeing him play so far this season. So he definitely has the potential to, I think take some people by surprise. But he's definitely going to look to break out of this slump this game against one of the weaker receiving cores.
Yeah, it's I mean Seb and Miski have played a ton together, so I mean you would think that their chemistry would be amazing, but it seems like Miski's really looked elsewhere in the NGL uh, passing wise.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely has led to a bit of shade being thrown at Sabardo, but I think they definitely have the potential to turn that around before the season ends. Miski gonna hit Quan over the middle. Nice pass there. Had that been just a little bit over, that was right in the path of 3 defenders. So great
Yeah,
job
it was
getting that over the line.
interesting. Uh, what I noticed from these guys last week is, I mean, all the games before when they were losing, it seemed like Miski was just heaving the ball up over and over again. Last week, it seems like they slowed it down a lot, threw a lot of comebacks and ends, and ran a ton.
Hmm.
So,
Speaking of heaving the ball up, Miski gonna find Seb for a 31-yard bomb. That one was actually a very good pass. That didn't look like it had really any chance of getting picked off.
I
So
think that was just confidence in his guy winning over Uncle SOCOM.
definitely a little bit. He gave him a lot of leeway to get to that ball quicker than SOCOM, though. Miski
Oh
fake
yeah.
rolling. Seb again? Oh, and Seb
Ooh,
just barely couldn't bring that in. I
I
think that was catchable.
I think he was slow on it. He was slow on the drag.
A little bit of clown shoes.
I really just expect him to run, to be honest. Like,
But maybe with some of his
oh
movement, he doesn't need to, unless Baus is going to connect like that. I mean, he had an open hole there to take the run pretty much as long as he wanted to. I tried to get a
yeah,
little bit too fancy there, I think.
yeah. Well, it looked like Marrero over pursued his bash and just whiffed altogether on Bus.
Hmm. I think as long as you tell someone like Marrero exactly what you want to do throughout the play, he can facilitate it pretty well. So I'd imagine something up the weak gap, regardless of which side Miski wants to go. The run should be there. I mean, he's got these big name linemen matched up against some, I think maybe perhaps underrated Dank Lettuce at Cam. Uh, I think you need to take advantage of it. I definitely can't hear though with 4th and 15. He's gonna find Quan over the middle, and he's gonna bring that down over Sparks. Definitely a dangerous throw there. That was interceptable.
Yeah, I feel like that throw was he threw that ball a little high. If he threw it lower, it would have been a lot safer, a lot easier to catch. He kind of made Quan find the spot on it, but I mean, he caught it.
And Quan has actually been one of the top performers so far this season. As Miski gonna take the run up the middle. There we go. Final 7-yard touchdown up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we interviewed Anki after their game last week, and Anki said they're going to win out in a spectacular fashion and make the playoffs. So,
And that was Anki's gap as well. They're going to go for 2 here, so I guess confident in the offense to produce here in the red zone. I mean, I don't know if I would have been going for the same thing as Seb.
oh, man.
Clown shoes yet again. That is unfortunate. They're only going to be held to 6.
And he's gonna have to figure that out because I mean, with Quan being lined up against Sparks over there, I can't imagine Miski's looking that way a whole lot this game.
Mhm. Nice return there by Uncle SOCOM, getting all the way to the 39. And I think this offense has probably, as a unit, struggled more than any in the league. I think Creamy has actually a better offense than a lot of people give him credit for. It's just he has trouble in the red zone, and I think that's unfortunately one of the most important parts of running an offense. Just because, at a certain point, you need to put the ball in the end zone, and you're going to be doing that from within the 20 most of the time. But Bo, I think from the games that I've casted, it's just random mistakes anywhere on the field. Very nearly sacked as Onyx.
Uh, that right there, what just happened, has been the story of this team. Bo making bad decisions with the ball, throwing bad interceptions. I believe he actually has the worst touchdown to interception ratio in the game. Looking at it real quick, it looks like the stats say is 9 passing touchdowns to 21 passing interceptions, a .43 ratio. The next worst is looking like Creamy at .57, 12 to 21. So not much better, but it is better.
And I don't know, Bo definitely, I've seen him play better than, I've been on his team, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but, I've seen him go toe to toe. He's won a tournament against Miski in the finals with, relatively even rosters, so it wasn't like you could really attribute it to, getting carried too much by anybody that he had drafted. Not sure what's been going on with him this season. Miski gonna
Eh,
find Seb short right for the conversion.
I mean, it seems like that Blackhawks team has kind of just been trouble in paradise the entire time. I mean, these guys after that game Cam QB, players like Seb, or not Seb, but Sparks, were calling for Bo to not even touch the field anymore. They wanted Cam to just QB the rest of the season.
I mean, Cam definitely put on a great show as that pass very nearly intercepted by Sparks. I think Marrero didn't have spot, but luckily just enough to catch it. For somebody who hasn't played quarterback in about 2 months, that was, I think, some of the best quarterbacking play I've seen. Oh,
I
he's
mean,
gonna send
yeah,
Marrero again, and he's
that
burning,
ball's look
and he
that
overthrows the line
that
leak again.
to look up in the sky a little bit more when he's throwing that one.
I mean, when your guy has that much separation, you can really just loft it up, and it's your guy is gonna come down with it. That was almost 10 yards of separation. There's so much leeway with that.
It doesn't have to be a good pass at all. It just has to be a catchable one.
And again,
I
perhaps.
think I
Oh,
think he sold that one. He either stopped early or he could have dove to catch it.
yeah. No. I saw his hands go up on the jump, so usually that means that he could have at least dove on it. That one not gonna be Miski's fault on that one, but with those two mistakes, they're at 4th and 2.
Oh, Seb could have dove for that one, I think.
I think the clown shoes, he tried to really avoid that, and it got to his head too much for him to even bring that one in.
And Seb's head is just not in the game so far. Bo looking like he's gonna slow things down a little bit and try to run the ball after that first drive.
Mhm. I mean, that's that slump that we've been talking about. That's not stuff that I'm used to seeing from Seb going against him. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say like, oh, he was the, number one receiver or anything, but he was definitely, a huge part of why Sentinels saw success when they did. Um, so seeing that from him, I'm not sure what happened that is, causing him to play like that. Bo
And
here.
to my knowledge, the Blackhawks, that ball is just thrown very poorly. But the Blackhawks had a warm up game, so I mean, seeing Seb play like that is kind of odd considering that he had a warm up before coming into this.
Hmm. Yeah, there's really no excuse for mechanical errors like that. If you've had a warm-up, so calm. If he got to that block, he might have been home free there, actually. Gonna get held to 4 yards.
Yeah, it's good old chip and drag.
The running back special. Oh, here, holding pocket. Gonna connect the Sparks that time on the comeback. Maybe that was the play that he was looking for last time with that weird ball. It seemed like it wasn't intended for anybody.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It was just so far off that it's hard to tell. Quan just coming in like a missile, stopping him pretty quick.
The Quan Blitz. I never thought I'd see it in an NGL game. As Rat's gonna make a huge stop there on Bo in the red zone. Gonna hold him to 3rd and 9.
I
And
mean, it seems like both of these teams are kind of struggling moving the ball a little bit. I mean, Hydra had the one big play, but after that, they've hit fourth down both drives. Bo not completing passes and not running well. So, I mean, let's see if they convert here, but it's not looking too hot starting out.
you're not too sure what's going on this right side. I think he's trying to get Sparks to run routes, especially quickly, as Sparks gonna stand AFK, perhaps in protest,
That's just
and Bo's just gonna
uh,
throw that one out of the end zone.
that's a horrible play for Sparks to go AFK.
Hmm. Perhaps some mid-game locker room struggles.
Yeah, well, let's hope that's not. Let's hope that Sparks just had to go take out the trash or something.
And he's gonna be AFK yet again. Bao's gonna cover for him, get the 4-yard sack.
Looked like miscommunication on the line there. It looked like Anki went one way and Miski went the other.
And we do have a pause coming out. Oh, accidentally switched channels there. Uh, so I have chat muted. I'm not sure what's going on between the captains right now.
I don't know. They paused. Anki hit him with the question mark, and they resumed the game.
Huh. And Sparks, it looks like he's back now, free roaming before the play. Miski only gonna take the 7-yard run there. Still gonna have 3rd and 7, not taking full advantage of the 6v7. And they are gonna leak Marrero again. Miski though doesn't see anything that he likes.
Well,
Very nearly safety.
that play call looked kind of bizarre to me. They had Marrero running out, and they had double posts from the receiver, and Onyx ran like a corner or something.
So yeah,
I don't
I'm not.
even know who that was supposed to go to.
Yeah, they really just kind of all crowded into one place. Miski gonna trust the ball up to Seb, and Pringle gonna bring it down over him.
Seb dashing when all he had to do was body block. That dash just put him out of position to catch the ball.
And that cost them the possession. They do put Bo back pretty far, so I mean, perhaps going to be able to get the ball back against this offense that has not put
Still
up any
time
points in
behind
a quarter.
Quan.
I guess Bo didn't see it. Hits Pringle in the flats. Nice yank there, though, by Pringle, getting the extra 10 yards. If I'm Bo here, I think maybe I send a lineman. Actually, the run, I guess, was there too, but it doesn't look like Miski is really in position to take a weak side run on some of these plays. I think he's a little bit too close to the nose tackle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough. I mean, especially. I mean, realistically, in the game of gridiron, the quarterback can get 3 yards every play if he really wants to when he's running. I mean, that's about as good as you can do unless someone completely whistle block.
I mean, he's putting a lot of trust in these linemen that, as far as I think community perception goes, he's gonna struggle against this Hydra line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll get a ton of time to pass the ball, especially when it looks like the linemen start meshing well right now. Seems like somebody's always doing something counterintuitive. But I mean, it doesn't seem like running is exactly going too well for him either. So I mean, kind of tough.
And he fakes the run, has Cam downfield, and Bo repeating Miskie's mistakes, overthrowing the leaks. Another lineman with several yards of separation, just completely overthrown. That one
He had a
hurt.
lot of time to throw that one too, because Moreau started going with him at first.
He's gonna find Sparks. Sparks making a bunch of moves.
The blocks are good.
Meets 3 people miss. Uses the blocks.
Oh man, he
What?
spun and he dove in.
What did I?
Sparks saw that Jipper highlight and said, "I can do that too."
Perhaps maybe not as high stakes, but certainly one of the most photogenic plays I've seen all season.
Yeah, I mean, he went second overall for a reason.
Oh my goodness. At the
Uh,
time I least expected to see a highlight, Sparks with the huge touchdown yak. And they're going to take the lead. What in the world? I need a tally on how many people he made miss, because that was not all on blocks. That was some people just dove at nothing.
it had to be at least 4 of them. I mean,
I know last game I asked for a still image, and somebody delivered, so I'm sure someone will come through.
I mean, with that run right there, with these two offensives combined, we just passed 200 total offensive yards. So I mean, these teams are not moving the ball.
Hmm. Defensive game. Defensive game.
Yeah, it is very much so a defensive game.
I think Miskie's going to have to just call some more comebacks over to Seb. He is going to get 4-man this play, backing up a lot. Probably going to look to throw this one away, yeah.
He had Onyx on that entire in route. I mean, they send that 4-man. The in route's almost always open. Onyx was ahead of SOCOM by like 5 yards the entire route, and he just never got the ball.
Miskey might just feel a little bit off, though. 'Cause, I mean, we saw earlier in that 4th down, maybe in a little bit of a panic. He was lucky Quan came down with the overthrow. So maybe not trusting his short game. Has Quan on the comeback, and he's going to dive and catch that one before it can be picked off by Bo. I think that just both of these QBs aren't really 100% confident in their ability to hit people where they need to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that player right there just, I mean, seemed like tunnel vision on Quan.
Just going to fake roll. I don't.
He's gonna throw this one away. Yeah.
Maybe Hook could have hit Quan, but probably would have only amounted to like a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, not even worth it. Risk isn't worth it on that. I mean, it looks like these guys are sending heat. They're blitzing some. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they expect Anki to go.
I mean, Miskey has been sending them before. Maybe just trusting that he'll overthrow them again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're not going to worry about it until it actually negatively affects them.
I mean, sometimes to win games is what you got to do, I think. Got to take
Yeah.
advantage of mistakes that the other team's making. Miskey is dropping back a lot, though, on several plays in a row.
Oh, no.
And that one's just straight to the defense. Sparks with a big play.
Just miscommunication, I guess. He wanted to hit that out route. Onyx went up. Felt like he was at the sideline at that point. So the offensive struggles just continue.
And they have Cam again.
Cam is... That's
that one
a
has
little
to hit,
deep.
right?
No, it's deep again. Cam, maybe a little stand mismanagement from Cam there. I feel like he should have had another dash there, but I mean,
he's never been known as a route runner, so
the ball's too deep nonetheless.
Yeah, you gotta be able to hit somebody when they have that much separation. So a little bit of error both ways. Has Sparks though. Doesn't see it in time. Just gonna take the 1-yard sack.
These quarterbacks are just struggling, man. One's 7 for 19 for 96. The other's 4 for 10 for 66.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's looking a little rough. Uh, I don't know. Maybe they just need to turn into running backs for the rest of the game.
Maybe, but Anki gonna put Bo 4th and 20. There's no running out of this scenario right here.
Not unless you like JBX or something.
Yeah,
These,
this one has to go to Sparks, right?
I mean, these guys are obviously gonna blitz, but I mean, 4th and 20, you have space.
And Sparks gonna come down with that over Quan. That is your number 2 overall pick for a reason.
I mean, Sparks has been frustrated this entire season. He's been saying this entire season, just give me the ball.
And
Oh man,
no.
it's this is just tough, man. Like stationary target, and you miss the throw from 10 yards away.
There wasn't anybody near him either. That's, oh, you gotta hit those. And he's
Oh
gonna take the
man,
sack, and he's not calling a timeout either. Oh,
I think it's I think he was gonna throw to SOCOM on the in out there, and I think Seb was gonna he bit down on that. He might have picked it. Maybe the sack was a good thing.
hmm. Regardless, this offense is looking like it's in shambles. So they're gonna need a score here, I think, to get the morale back together. Bo gonna take the 12-yard run, but 4th and 9. One timeout left. He can still get another play or two if he runs things down the sideline.
I
Uh,
kind of feel like he's just gonna send it to Sparks in the end zone.
yeah, I think if Miskey doesn't blitz here, that's just what you gotta do. So we
Roll
can.
weak side.
And
Oh man.
Augie with the big time play with 6 seconds left. They are in 50 range. They can score right before this half ends, and I think I forget who started with the ball actually.
It was the Hydra that started with the ball.
So with a score here, they'd score
What?
and immediately get the ball. Miskey, no!
I am so confused as to what is happening in this game.
Miskey
I
pulled a
mean,
Dak Prescott.
why did he run when he was already in 50 range
I think
by 8 yards?
I think
Uh,
he just thought that they would tackle him, and the Cam is. I mean, I've played enough with him to know he's just gonna call, "Don't tackle him! Don't tackle him!"
yeah, I mean that's just basic gridiron at this point, especially against a team that desperately wants to win. Like I don't think they're gonna be foolish enough to make that mistake. But either way, I don't understand what the idea was behind that because even if you get tackled right there, you're still just sending it to the end zone anyways. So
But
I don't know.
as you were saying before with the stats, I mean, neither of these quarterbacks going over 500 with their accuracy this game. I mean, we have what's it? Sparks and Pringle both with a pick. Sparks the only receiver with more than one reception on his whole team. Uh,
Uh,
Onyx without a single reception. I mean, this is just a troubling game for both offenses.
yeah, I really, it's hard to even come up with words for what we're watching, to be honest.
We are getting a bit of a D-line display though from
Yeah,
Hydra. Maybe
yeah,
perhaps
we
one of the
are.
only things keeping them in this game. That's the 6th sack for the entire unit compared to the 2 by the
Uh,
Blackhawks.
I mean, Bo running for 7 there, but when it's 2nd and 23, I don't know that the 7 matters that much.
Hmm. I think he needs to play like, with the college football mindset, run on first, and then
Yeah.
evaluate your options from there.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it just
Jim.
feels like both. Oh man.
Oh no, that's gonna be the 7th sack. These aren't like run stops for the most part either. I mean, that we just saw back-to-back double-digit yardage sacks. Bo making 2 people miss by just standing still.
He didn't even jump when he threw that pass. He just said, "You know what, Sparks, here you go," and then it didn't work.
I and I mean, as a receiver, you're very conditioned to catching those balls that have a start at jump height. It might sound, a little bit silly to people who don't play receiver very often, but standing throws, the arc is it just looks a little different. It's if you're not used to it, it will throw you off.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot flatter. I mean, ball's not as high in the air initially. I mean, so it looks like the ball may be going shorter than it actually is, which may be the case with that one. Sparks stopping a little bit early. Yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like these offenses are lacking creativity here a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm not seeing any diversity in what's going on. They're just trying the same things over and over again to no effect.
Is Miskey gonna run his way to that first down? He's gonna have to probably just call something that gets either Quan or Seb open downfield if he wants to put
Yeah, I
this ball in
mean,
the end zone.
he's got to do something. He's throwing for less than 40% right now.
He's gonna get quite a bit of pressure here under the four-man. He's gonna find Quan on the comeback. Quan making moves, movement player, and he's
I
gonna
think he
take
ended up
that
getting
one.
jailed by his teammate.
I think he almost did. There was someone that guy was blocking. I don't think this Hydra team was ready for a four-man. Marrero was kind of sticking to the left rusher in a four-man while Miskey was rolling right. I think a bit of a miscommunication there. Although QB in line front. Miskey gonna look for Seb in the corner, and that one will be overthrown. That one definitely not toe draggable.
That one was not catchable. You would have had been standing at the invisible burial barrier outside of the field to even be able to catch that one.
Hmm. Definitely a good read though. Those are the types of throws I think, even if your receivers, having a bit of a off week, that's something that you could bring them back with. But Dankaleta's gonna bring Miskey back 19 yards with that sack. This trip to the red zone just got immediately harder.
Yeah, I mean, both of these QBs have made good, smart reads, but whenever it's there, they've overthrown the ball every time. Or in Hydra's case, their receiver makes a mistake.
Dank again! 10-yard sack, 4th and 39. I,
I
I
mean,
think you
honestly,
might have to test the matchup. Quan on
yeah.
Sparks.
I mean, these guys send four here. If they're disciplined, I don't think that Miskey even gets the distance on the pass, but we'll see.
Yeah, Miskey definitely gonna have to pull some shenanigans in the pocket
He
here.
has time. Why did he throw it so short?
I think he thought that Quan would be able to yank it, but Sparks just immediately making the tackle when he caught it. And I mean, that'll pad the stats a little bit, but you know, that's a turnover.
That's what's interesting is there's only two interceptions to each team, but I think each team has also gotten a turnover on fourth downs like two times each.
hmm Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think that'll be reflected in the stat sheet anywhere, but definitely something that these teams should take note of looking at this film. Oh, rolling weak
Arcs.
side here. Has Sparks, and Sparks with the body block, and he is going to bring that one down. 44 yards, and they are immediately in the red zone. I think you need a score here to, bring your team into this game mentally.
Yeah, I mean it's looking tough out there. I mean, you get a free nine there. I feel like if he didn't dive so early, he probably would have scored, to be honest. But I mean, nine isn't bad. These
Maybe a
guys
little bit
going
of.
four down. I mean, now they just want you to throw the ball.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely got to trust your coverage here. He is going to get the first, though, so he has a total of 4 tries at the 3. Knowing Bo, he might just run it 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, as you should.
Miskey
Well, not
going to
when
bring
that
him
happens.
back 2 yards, though. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just, it's tough. I mean, your line has to have good communication in order to block out of this four down lineman. If your communication isn't good, the wrong person is going to go unblocked every single time, and you're not going to be able to run the ball.
Hmm.
Yeah, these guys abandoning the run idea here.
Very nearly sacked again there. Bo running away from this line in the pocket. He is getting slowed. Rasputin within dive reach. And Bo gonna throw
What?
that one into the ground and get. What's
I
the
mean,
name of the
quite
mechanic?
frankly, I'm counting that as a sack for rats.
But
That's if
oh,
that doesn't show you that Bo is rattled, then I don't know what will.
and up to Sparks again, and Quan gonna come down with that. I think at a certain point you have to just understand that Hydra knows the struggles going on with the team. It's been like a public incident with this Blackhawks Sparks and Bo beef. I mean, they know you're
Yeah,
gonna bring all the 50s to him. You have to, I think, just switch it up at least here and there, even if Sparks is gonna get upset with it, just because it hasn't been working 100% of the time when it needs to.
I mean, updated passing stats here. Bo 6 for 16, 144. Miskey 9 for 22, 145. So I mean, both QBs really playing equally poor here.
Yeah, unless something changes, definitely a game that both of these QBs will look to put behind them. As we
Yeah,
draw closer and closer to the fourth quarter here.
it looks like Miskey's finally just being a running back, like I said they should do earlier. He's not going to put the ball in the air anymore unless he has to.
Mm. I'd hope his team understands, just because if it's working, I mean, you gotta trust the line. I'd say that's where probably the biggest difference is gonna be this game. Actually, gonna drop back this play. There's a little bit of time. Has Quan downfield. He body blocks Sparks, and he's gonna bring that one down in stride. And now Miskey in the red zone. Huge play for
Perfect time to
Miskey.
draw that. I mean, yeah, these guys. I mean, everyone bit the run. They're expecting him to just run again. Quan gets behind Sparks there. A frustrated Sparks at that, I'd imagine.
Definitely. I mean, he put himself in a position to get body blocked. Sparks usually one of the last people that allows that. I think definitely a bit flustered.
Yeah, but I mean, you can catch Sparks lacking on defense sometimes, especially when he gets frustrated. He starts letting people over, thinking that he'll just catch the 50 on him anyways. But I mean, if the leverage is good enough, I mean, Quan's not going to miss.
Bow's gonna get the 7-yard sack though, and bring Miskey back all the way to the 10 on 3rd and goal. Definitely not gonna be easy to run this one in, so probably gonna have to trust his receivers in the air here on these next 2 downs.
Yeah, I mean, running in the red zone gets tough when they're all in on stopping the run, and I mean, it's even harder to throw the ball in the red zone. So I mean, it's going to take creativity to score here.
4th and goal on the 4. I mean, this definitely is not one of those run it up the middle scenarios. I think if you're gonna run, you're gonna have to do a late play, trust your line to hit blocks. He's gonna roll short side. The run isn't there. Miskey, what are you doing?
Oh man, like I feel I mean, I'm chuckling a little bit, but like it's hard not to, and that's the decision making.
Oh no, that is tragic. I mean, still up by, or excuse me, it's still down by 1 score. That cannot be how you end a red zone trip. With Bo now going to be playing a bit of a
Man, the running for Bo is not working.
no.
Him and his line is not on the same page at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what Bo needs to change on that front. Gonna have Cam on the league.
It's deep again.
I think even if he hadn't gotten body blocked, that was too far.
It was still too deep.
Great play though by Quan though to get back there and cut off the leak.
Yeah.
Had that been accurate, that could have actually been picked.
I feel like right here you do a fake comeback to Sparks because Quan absolutely bites it.
Mhm. He's gonna get 4-man though. Can't even roll to Sparks' side. And Bo gonna take the run. Maybe had Sparks on the corner there, but definitely want to just take your yards and secure the first down there. Smart play by Bo. And probably gonna look to chew quite a bit of clock off this drive, whether or not he could put this ball in the end zone, because the defense has been working so far. Has Sparks down the middle. Zeb looking to close the distance. And he is going to pick that one off of Sparks. Seb coming alive in this fourth quarter to bring the ball back into his team's hands.
That ball was just incredibly short. Sparks' dash came out at a weird time too. He had to try to stop it mid dash, and I mean, he just couldn't find spot fast enough.
I think if slides didn't work the way that they do, that could have been a catch for him. But I mean, you gotta understand game mechanics. You know, you gotta hit your receivers where their slides are gonna end. If you put it in the middle of a slide, it's a very interceptable pass.
I mean, I feel like a pass like that one had a little bit of air, and I feel like you need to make that pass a little flatter because I mean he's gonna get sandwiched between Seb and Quan there. So I mean, that ball, the faster the ball gets there, the better.
2 minutes and 37 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Miskey gonna look to put up enough points here to get the lead back. Just needs a field goal to secure the lead. And he's gonna overthrow Quan over the middle. And the ball is back in Bo's hands at midfield.
I don't have words anymore, Gooder. I don't. What is this?
This might be the preview to the Long John Silver's Bowl.
This may be the worst game of Gridiron I've ever watched.
I've definitely seen.
I've seen Pug. I mean, no, it's not because I've seen Pugs in 2-0. Bo finally breaking one loose.
That's exactly what he needed. Just one play for the line to hit blocks and just to get a little bit of luck downfield. Made some nice moves, made people miss, and definitely should be going for a 2-point conversion here, I think, to make this potentially a 2-score or a 2-possession lead. But nevertheless, 8-point differential. Gonna still be a difficult lead to retake.
Sparks expressing his frustration in the Twitch chat.
I mean, he does have the lead though, so I technically can't be too upset, but Hydra needs a score here just in case they don't get the 2-point conversion successfully.
Yeah.
With the way this offense has been running, I think you definitely need to rely on just scoring twice more than getting that 2-point conversion.
If this game manages to go to overtime, I'm going to be baffled.
Definitely can. I think if Miskey and Bo just change a little bit about their scheme. I mean, this so far has been, I think, the lowest scoring game of the NGL. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, it absolutely is. I think it might be the lowest total everything in the NGL. Besides sacks.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially this Hydra line has been doing really well at pushing Bo back.
Sack number is pretty comparable though. 6 from the Blackhawks. It's looking like 8 from the Hydra.
Miskey with some nice moves there. Didn't see anything he liked downfield though. Yeah, I guess in the second half, the Blackhawks line has actually been doing a good job catching up on the sacking numbers, reflecting on the scoreboard for them. And the lead increasing. Miskey here rolling left. Takes the ball back right in. Bouse is going to catch up to him with that slow effect. 15-yard sack. With a minute 35 left. Miskey down 8 points with 3rd and 25 in his own half of the field.
That sack was number 4 for Bouse.
Bouse definitely showing out this game against Rasputin, who I would think is probably gonna win that matchup more often than not. But Dank Lettuce gonna get another clutch sack.
Whoa, that makes 4 for Dank Lettuce too.
And that might be the most consequential sack of the game, combined with Bouse's the play before. 4th and 43. Miskey gonna have to make a miracle happen here with Seb, and that ball is not gonna reach. Seb going to come down with it, but short of the first. I
It's a
think
good thing that ball gets off.
yeah, but I mean, still, you have a minute and 18 seconds left to force a turnover. I mean, you do have 3 timeouts, but I mean, Bo is. I mean, he can get those 4-yard runs. I think he has it in him to string a few together, and he is going to be running the clock down here.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to stop him from at least getting enough to 3-4 every time. I mean, especially with the nature of the game. I mean, if you're letting him get 9, then the game's effectively over.
Yeah, I mean that's a every first here from here on out is going to make this more and more impossible for the Hydra. I think.
Especially when he only needs like 12 or 13 yards to kick a field goal to, I mean, seal it for sure.
Oh yeah, that too. I wasn't even thinking about that. I mean, they're gonna have to call timeouts on this set of downs,
I
regardless of
don't
how
think
it
they're
goes.
God. The GGs came out already in chat. I don't think they're calling anything. I think they're just gonna let the time go.
Ah, that's a shame. I mean, they still, as far as numbers go, they still had a shot to string together 250s, get the ball down the field, and get a 2-point conversion. But I mean, definitely, as I said before a game, neither of these QBs will look to remember. Onyx with a 9-yard sack. They are going to call timeout here. So maybe it can make something happen here. 3rd and 15 with 15 seconds. And, a turnover here on downs will lead to them being at 50 range. But Bo is going to get that run, and that's the game. Maybe with another touchdown here if he uses some of those blocks.
And that's when a timeout comes out.
That was the Blackhawks timeout. They're looking to increase this point differential a little bit, and they are gonna do the Goon Squad special left corner, and just gonna be out of bounds. It looks like so. 14-6. The Blackhawks are your winner, coming away from this game now 2-4, and the Hydra now 1-5. I believe mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, and looking like the favorite for the Long John Silver Bowl loser, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, I think that one effectively. I mean, both of these teams, both being one-win teams, losing that one likely guarantees that you're not making it to the playoffs because that other team will have the tiebreaker over you. So yeah, expect to see Hydra in the loser bowl if we do one.
I,
Sparks wants in the booth. Sparks, are you gonna be a well-behaved young man?
I think we could let them in real quick. I would definitely with the best stat line on his team for the game. I think Kwan though, in terms of the whole lobby, not unfortunately didn't do enough to secure the win, but 7 receptions for 139 yards and 2 picks. I mean, definitely did what he could. But I mean, the sack numbers as soon as they turned around, I mean, Bo just had enough wiggle room to, just keep pushing down the field and eventually get that game-winning score.
Oh well, when I asked Sparks if he was gonna behave himself, he said never mind. So
Okay, I guess that's how that goes. But yeah, um, so Miskey left actually right before the game ended, so we don't have his stats on screen. I think I can use the API to get them really quick. Actually, I actually don't have the link to the API, so I can't do that. But um, looking at Bo's stats, 6 for 19, 144 passing yards, 126 rushing yards. I mean, all things considered, his rushing yards throughout the whole game, not bad actually. In terms of total offense, definitely questionable. threw at least 4 picks. I'm not sure if Miskey came down with any. And Miskey only throwing 3. But I mean, turnovers on downs. There was at least 1 for both teams. And we saw
Yeah,
Seb, I think Seb caught that one late that was short. So I think that's 2 for them. So a total of at least 11 turnovers this whole game.
yeah. I mean, the numbers you see on the screen don't exactly tell the story when it comes to turnovers.
Mm.
Might be the most fourth down turnovers I've ever seen in a gridiron game.
Yeah, probably. I think definitely similar to like pickup games.
Yeah, it was
And
rough. I mean,
with that, I think that's all we have for tonight. We have 3 games actually tomorrow night. At 9, we have the Blackhawks returning to face the undefeated Portland Pickles. Uh, you know, I think that's if the Blackhawks can come out with a win with that, they will prove to not only everybody else but to themselves that they are still in this. But definitely not going to be an easy game for them. Then at 10 we have the Seamen versus Hydra, which is another Long John Silver's-esque game between 2 bottom three teams. And then we have perhaps the highlight, the top 2 teams also facing each other at 10, the Cheesesteaks versus the Portland Pickles. And that is probably, I think, going to be where if the Pickles drop a game, it'll be that game. DJ has
yeah,
looked untouchable so far this game, or this season.
yeah. DJ really kind of doing his best Cam impression this NGL season. He's playing a lot how Cam would play, running a ton, taking safe passes. I mean, mistake-free football. And when you got the kind of team he does, I mean, how could you lose?
Yeah, Cam has been a big part of DJ's development as a quarterback. I think when DJ was running his GFA team, um, we saw early signs of what was to come, but I think Cam helped him refine some of his decision making as a quarterback, and we're seeing all of that culminate into this season. I mean, if Shaq and Chipper are your top 2 quarterbacks, you have to throw DJ in top 3. I mean, he's in terms of passing, I don't. There's at least a case that he's top 3. Running, it's him and JBX top 2. He may come out as the number 1 quarterback this season, considering how well he's done on both fronts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a debate for sure.
And with that, I think we will call it a night, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll catch y'all.